Namaste, beautiful friends. This is Elle with Sacred Union Spiritual Wellness. I am so happy you are here. Wow, what a year it's been so far. And tonight we are having our first full moon of 2025. Today is January 13th, and we have a lot to talk about. So let me prepare the space, grab a hydration beverage, let's have a sip and a sit, and I'll tell you about the energies you may be experiencing with this first full moon of 2025. All right, friends. Well, with the Moonology deck, which is by Yasmin Bolin, the card for the full moon in Cancer, in this case, it's called the Wolf Moon, the first full moon of 2025 this year. And the card says, let your fears dissolve. Now, I love full moon energy, but there's an aspect to Mars, so this could be a very emotional time for you. You may have difficulty sleeping. I suggest you taking a calm day today if possible. I like to do a saltwater soak to cleanse my energies before the full moon. And also, I like to go out and moon gaze, and I take photographs of the moon. I usually drink like a sparkling wine or champagne beverage, because full moons to me are celebrations. It is releasing energy. It is the culmination, the finality. And today happens to be the 13th. So it feels like that being a 4-day with the 13 and 1, the 3 and 1 being a 4. It feels as though once we have this release, there's some stability. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the astrology, and then I'll get into the tarot reading. Now, the decks that I'm using are behind me. I am going to be using The Power of Love by James Van Praagh and The Angel Answers by Radley Valentine. I'm also going to be using the Art Nouveau Tarot. I haven't used this in a long, long time. I don't even see the creator. And then Jill Pyle's Sacred Self-Care deck, because I do believe full moons are an extra needed time for self-care, because the energy is incredibly intense. It is magnified, and there is just so much energy. A lot of times you have difficulty sleeping during full moons. You feel a little bit off. Remember, full moons have a huge gravitational pull as it's close to the earth, and you just feel the full-on energy. And if it can intensify tides, imagine what it can do to the water in your body. So please know, this is going to, you're going to feel some effects here. So let's get started with the astrology. Of course, it is the full moon in Cancer, the wolf moon, and the moon rules Cancer. So this is going to be a time of intensified emotions, but it conjuncts Mars in retrograde, so there might be some old feelings coming up. They're coming up to be released during the full moon. So you may get a phone call, you may get a text message, you may run into somebody at the grocery store, you might just have that chance encounter. What I'm going to say is, keep your emotions in check. Don't take anything personally. Don't look at the past and start, well, you did this or you said this. Just, accept what is, forgive, and move on. You don't have to have resolution, really. It's just, if it comes up, it's coming up for a reason. It's Spirit's way to say, you're beyond it now. You don't even have to rehash the past. You know what? Does it really matter? Is it that important to you? Or is it more important for you just to move on and, just move forward? Release. Just forgive and release. You don't have to reconstruct the argument. Give it a compassionate, my notes here is a compassionate release. Not only are you forgiving them, you're forgiving yourself, but just be compassionate. They weren't their best selves that day. They were under the influence of a lot of other issues. It could be aspects in their astrology chart at that time were really triggering their Chiron, or there might have been something in their astrology chart that was really activating something. So, give grace. Just give grace. Give grace and go on. All right, the sun trines the moon, which sextiles Uranus. This is a liberation from the past. So this is an important emotional liberation. So it doesn't necessarily mean resolution. Liberation doesn't mean resolution. This means it's just time to move on. So give the compassionate forgiveness and release to yourself and to the others, and then just move forward. There doesn't have to be an accountability. Okay? So let's go on with the power of love. I haven't used this deck in a while. It's a new combination of decks. So it's going to be small readings this week because I know this is a very busy week. If you are joining me on my other channel, The Organizer Advisor, in our total life transformation process, raising your vibration through organization, we are almost halfway through. Every nook and cranny, cleaning our house, organizing, decluttering. We incorporate good self-care, and as well as we are organizing our documents, and we have totally restructured our wardrobe. We now have a calm, cohesive, and coordinated closet. So let's get started. Oh yeah, two big cards here, evolution and respect. I feel like 2025 is a year that we are really going through an emotional evolution. Okay, I need to write that down. Sorry. And I think this is the beginning. I think this is the beginning. And then we have, the card says, you realize that obstacles are merely lessons on your path to love. And then respect, you value everyone's unique perspective on the path to love. So on this journey to love ourselves and others, sorry, my chair is bothering me. We need to respect that, like I was saying earlier about the astrology, you may have had a disagreement with somebody, but you have no idea what was aspecting their chart at the time. It just could have been the life circumstances. They were overwhelmed. There's that compassionate release. That's part of this evolution, because the former version of you would never let it go. The higher aspected version of you, the higher conscious version of you, is going to say, it's not that big of a deal to me anymore. I'm all about just forgiveness and love and compassion and moving on with my life and doing what's right for me. Well, that is what's right for you. But you have to respect that they had certain circumstances in their life that may have triggered a more emotional response than you would have predicted. To you, whatever happened, I don't understand. They overreacted. Well, we all do that sometimes. There's that compassionate release and forgiveness. All right, this is the angel answers. Let's see. It is up to you. So if there's something lingering that needs to be resolved, it's up to you. So at the end of the video, I'm going to have you take a moment and think of a question that you want the angels to answer. And I'll pull a card. So kind of keep that in the back of your mind as you're listening to this reading. The situation will, look at these two cards came out together. This is amazing. The situation will improve if you believe. The situation will improve if you believe. Who just got chills? I sure did. The situation will improve if you believe. It's up to you. And if you have that compassionate release. So at this time, just go ahead and start, as you're listening to this, think about something, your situation that you need to improve. And we'll pull an angel answer on it at the end of the video. All right, that one stayed in the deck. Yeah, okay. I'm still not finished shuffling. Make sure you stay hydrated during full moon energy, because you need that water essence element in your body to be at like full capacity. So don't over drink, but make sure you're hydrating to the particular needs of your body. Use a hydration calculator. All right, let's get started. Okay, this deck is active. I haven't used this deck in a long time. It's one of my favorite decks. Okay, let's see. Ooh, there's the devil. Oh, no, that's the Lover's card. Okay, we have a lot. Okay, let's just start unraveling. Oh, major arcanas. There's the World card. There's the High Priestess. We have the Five of Swords. We have the Nine of Swords. We have the Page of Cups. There's the apology that never came. There's the Lover's card. This is about relationships. We have the Six of Wands card. And we have the Ten of Swords card. Does that not just summarize everything I just said? Okay, so let's start with the major arcana. We have the World card. This is the ending, culmination, perfect card for a full moon. It is in the upright. This is Saturnian energy. It's earth energy. It's, my guys just said there's no need to retaliate. I don't understand. That's a message for somebody that just came through. There's no need to retaliate. This is just a release, not a retaliation. They named it just a release, not a... Okay. The High Priestess card. This is like really connect with your knowing. That High Priestess is moon energy. It is Saturnian energy. I'm sorry, Piscean energy, but it's also Cancer. The moon rules Cancer. So we're in this, Cancer, my Cancer is in Venus. So talk about emotional. But my guide said, don't emotionally vomit. Don't go through the emotional vomit. Yeah. So this is bringing an awareness. And so it feels like there's a situation coming back with that Mars in retrograde with the moon. And the moon is actually going to pass right in front of Mars. So it's going to obscure Mars. And so I feel like that's a really important aspect. And it's kind of like a shitty part. I don't know why. It just doesn't feel good. But the moon is like going to pass in front of that Mars, which is ruled by Aries, which is the god of war, blah, 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 blah. It just feels like, you know, just that's the emotional vomit. It's like you just want to emotionally vomit all of the stuff in this situation, that you just want to pour it all out and get it all out and direct it at this person. Don't. If you need to write it all out beforehand, do that. Burn it in your burning bowl ceremony. But don't emotionally vomit on this person when this situation comes, because it's not going to help. But this is becoming aware. Now you may say, I'm really sorry. Well, I don't think you're going to get an apology, because here's the Page of Cups in the reverse. This is something that, happened that nobody gave an apology for, but it's almost an implied apology. It's like they're going to tell you, I just found out I was going to lose my job. I just found out that, my pension, or my bank card got hijacked. Maybe somebody stole my identity, those kind of things. And then we have this Five of Swords. Now, this is the part that is up to you. This is the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is, the way I read the energy, is self-sabotaging. It's like you're either gonna make something of the situation, or you're gonna create another situation that's gonna intensify. Don't create another situation to intensify, because that's gonna linger a lot longer. You're not gonna be happy with that, with this Nine of Swords. So right in the center of this reading is a lot of Swords energy. So this is something with this Knight of Pentacles. This has been something that hasn't resolved for quite a while. You may have spent a lot of time thinking about it, worrying about it, This may be triggering some anxiety in you. Like, I don't really want this confrontation, but I really feel like there's a confrontation coming, and it's what you make of it. Then we have this Page of Cups in the reverse. There wasn't an apology on either side. It just was left hanging. That's kind of that air sign. It was just left. And then we have the Lover's card here. And in this deck, take a look at that. I mean, there's almost like you got these two naked figures. And then you've got this, it almost looks like an angry angel above them. And it's almost looked like they're directing. I don't know, the imagery on this card is like there's a lot of fire. Like the masculine is the one who's really pissed off. So if there's a masculine energy, they're the ones who are really pissed off. But they're really not looking at... they're really not looking at the situation. They're looking at their circumstance. And the angel is kind of doing this above them, like, slow down, stop. Let's not let this get out of control. So that's, take it as it resonates, please. Six of Wands in the reverse. This isn't about recognition. This isn't about how jolly you are. You know, if this situation is about your worth, you know, somebody not valuing your worth, then you can take this situation and just say, I don't care whether they value it or not. I don't have to give them more energy, but I know my value. I know my truth. And that's what matters to me. Whether somebody else understands that or not is irrelevant. It really is irrelevant. You know your truth. You know your worth. If you know your truth, you know your worth. And whether or not somebody acknowledges that, recognizes that, celebrates that, if that's the issue here, it's not worth it. You know what? Agree to disagree. You know, but your worth doesn't have to be the sword that ends the relationship. All right, so speaking of sword, the very end of this reading, we have the Ten of Swords in reverse. This is something that you can let go and let God, if that's where you are, or you can just choose not to let this affect you. This is up to you. The situation will improve if you believe, but you got to let it go. And this is something, it feels like, there feels like a need for retaliation, for justification, for being right, for having somebody acknowledge your worth, your value, what you've done for them in the past. That's not what's important here. Okay, I'm going to pull 3 cards as advice from the universe, and then we'll do your angel answer. So start thinking about your question, and then I'm going to pull some self-care, because I think these full moon times is a great time for self-care rituals, and Spirit's going to know what you need to do to help put yourself in the energy of being able to release. Now, I feel like this situation is going to be within the next 48 hours, the 2 days after the full moon. But remember that Mars is going to be obscured. What is the word? Occulted. It's going to be occulted by the moon. So this is a time for transition to peace. I need to write that down too. These are all things I need to remember. Okay. Let's pull 3 cards for more advice, as if you need it. Well, there's 2 right there. One is the 8 of Cups. Hello. This is part of your spiritual evolution. All right. There's the 4 of Cups. This is something that was very disappointing to you. All right. There's the 9 of Cups. Okay. The 9 of Cups, 8 of Cups, and 4 of Cups. All cups. See how the emotion... See the emotional energy here. Told ya. Okay, so this was something that you really expected a different outcome when you interacted with this person. I feel like this person is masculine. They're not really interested in, they're more focused on their 3D. They're really not interested in kind of the spiritual aspect of like their astrology or the energies or, you know, their zodiac sign, what they might be going through. They're just struggling to survive the 3D. But you, on the other hand, this is the Nine of Cups. You know your worth. You know your truth. You don't have to, this is just something that's going to be, if you're sitting in this energy, your Nine of Cups energy, your Eight of Cups energy, you know that this is part of your spiritual evolution. This is a defining moment for you to have that compassionate release. And it doesn't mean that you have to speak again. It doesn't mean that you're going to be the one to, you know, you're going to rekindle the relationship. All you're doing is releasing it. Now, for some reason, this Page of Cups here and this Four of Cups fella look very similar to me. And the Page of Cups, remember, is in the reverse. So this person is kind of remorseful about what happened, but not yet wanting to apologize. Okay? So if that makes sense to you. All right, get your question, put it in your mind, set it as an intention to get an answer from the angels. I will pull 3 cards. So, first card for the answer to your question. Look for a sign. Ask the universe for a sign. Ask your guides. What sign do I see now? In the day before yesterday, we had a reading about seeing frogs, hearing frogs. That might be a sign for you, but you can set the intention about what kind of sign you need to look for. For me, it's always white doves, but it could be crows, it could be a rose, it could be whatever. Set your intention and ask your guides for the sign, and then you'll know. My guides just told me a bear. Look for a bear. If you see a bear, that's going to help you determine what it is. Okay, now we have 4. So there is an opportunity. So if your question was regarding an opportunity, or if something's going to happen, look at it as an opportunity. An opportunity is going to come to you. Now that can relate to this in order to put something aside or release it. Or a new opportunity may come in once you release this old energy. And if you look at that card carefully, it's going to be a positive opportunity that's going to bring a lot of abundance to you. Be assertive. So if your question was, do I need to be the one to make the phone call? Do I need to be the one to move forward? Mars is this assertive energy. Be assertive, even though you're not going to feel like doing it. And there's a mask here. Take off the mask. And then the last one, big happy changes. This opportunity coming in is going to bring big happy changes. So if you see a sign, like you've asked the universe, like for example, if I see a bear today, like I see it in a video, and that video is about, some sort of product, then I might want to invest in that product. But look for a sign, because that sign is going to indicate an opportunity, and you're going to have to make the first move. So, if it is like a sign for a product and I invest in that product, now I'm not giving you financial advice. I don't do that. But I'm going to look for a sign, and my sign is going to be the bear today because that's what my guides told me. So if I do, and I do that, there's going to be big happy changes. If I make that move, if I take that step, if I assert myself, then I am going to see a new opportunity and some big happy changes. So however that appeals to your question, then take it as it resonates. All right, let's go through some sacred self-care. These are suggested self-care rituals for you to do for this full moon tonight. I guarantee I'm going to be doing them. And I feel like make a meal is one. Connect with fire. I do my burning bowl ceremony. We just talked about that. So connect with fire. release whatever issue you have. Write it down. Write all your feelings down. That's the time to emotionally vomit. Write all your feelings down and then release. Family. That's a 23 card. We have a 12 card, which is like the hangman energy. But it's also a 3, which means it's a catalyst to change. And then we have a 23 card, which is a 5, which means a change. Clean your space. Yep. Now, if you are on my other channel, the Organizer Advisor, we are every nook and cranny, cleaning our entire home. My God's told me to pull one more. So we are cleaning. This brings fresh energy. So if nothing else, tidy up, declutter your countertops in your kitchen, clean off that dining room table. But this is a sign to follow along with me at the Organizer Advisor. We are halfway through our process, and we have already cleaned the primary bedroom, the linen closet, 2 bathrooms, and the dining room. This week we're working on the living room. We're organizing electronics. We're going to organize all of our electronic data, and we've already totally restructured our wardrobe. Intuition. Oh yeah, that really connects. That's a 10 card. That connects with this High Priestess. The moon is a time for heightened intuition. So if you get a really strong prompt, or if you feel a particular knowing about something, follow your intuition. It's going to guide you. Okay, that's what I have for you. I hope it helps. Please leave me a comment. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel. Thank you to all of my subscribers for supporting my work. I am so grateful to all of you. All right, have a wonderful day. Namaste. Thank you so much for your likes, your subscribing to my channel, and your very kind comments. I hope you found this video helpful. Please check out my other videos for other messages that will help you enhance your spiritual well-being. I'm Elle, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you again. Until then, my dear friends, namaste.